Frenzy Highlights, brought to you by CMSC Driving School, offering flexible scheduling for classroom and road lessons at 6 Central Mass locations. Online at centralmasssafety.org.
The Friday Night Football Frenzy is presented by the law offices of Joseph J. Cariglia and Bay State Savings Bank.
Coming up on the high school preview edition of the Friday Night Football Frenzy, it's week 1 of the college season. Nichols heads down the pike to battle Westfield State. Anna Maria goes for the upset as the AmCats host WPI. The 2018 high school football season is upon us. We'll preview the district, and we'll make our picks for who will rise to the top of the CMAS football universe. They're hitting for real. The frenzy starts right now.
Mass isn't known for the best athletes and the best football players, but I tell you what, Massachusetts has some pretty damn good football players. I see it every day out here.
Correct. Worcester State tight end, All-American. Massachusetts has some great football. And Central Mass has some great football. We're back. Now we're back in earnest. Kevin Shea, Andy Lacombe. The frenzy can really begin because we've got college games tonight, and we're talking high school football. We're talking Central Mass high school football.
What's in that cup? I'll tell you what, jacked up on green tea right now as we get set to go. We have high school picks coming. We've got high school previews coming, but we start in the college ranks. There are games to be played tonight. And it was opening weekend in Division III around here. The WPI Engineers coming off a historic season going to Anna Maria where they were ringing the bell in the home opener tonight. Former defensive coordinator Dan Mulrooney leading Anna Maria. And early on as AmCats moved the ball, Emmanuel Leak to Antonio Snell for a first down in the first quarter. WPI defense coming up big though. This is on 4th down, same drive. Luca Saracini with the sack to end the drive, and the Engineers would capitalize. Sean McAllen carrying the rock into the end zone, 7-0. WPI after 1. WPI defense settling in. The local Tommy Farraco, the tackle for a loss. They got some locals on both sides of the line. Then it's McAllen's second quarter. Rumbling outside, turns on the Jets for a touchdown. It's 14-0. Engineers. AmCats forced to punt out of their end zone. WPI's coming. Stephen Lauro with the block. Through the end zone for the safety. 16-0. WPI. C-Rob's crew coming to life. WPI marches after the safety. Zach Uglovich out of Maynard with the touchdown. 23-0 WPI. Engineers win the opener. 54-0.
All right, we traveled into Cambridge tonight. Becker on the road at MIT. Opening kickoff. Becker returning to MIT. Huge special teams. Causing the fumble. Ben Delhees recovering for MIT. First and goal for the Engineers. And it sets up John Robertson. Plowing his way into the end zone. Robertson giving MIT a 6-0 lead. Next MIT possession. Ugum Goyle hitting Keithan Shepard, and MIT's inside the 10-yard line. Then it's Robertson again. Gets a push from the O-line, breaks the tackle, and barrels into the land of 6, 13-0 MIT. The Becker defense. Bowing up, stringing it out. Michael Bianco, Lamar Smith leading the charge. Bailey McLosky causing the fumble. Christian Perkins recovers. Not enough, though. MIT gets the win tonight. 23-3 is your final.
Westfield State and Nichols. The Bison won this game a year ago. It's the traditional opener between the two schools early on. How about some CMAS on CMAS crime? Jake Wood with the reception for Nichols. Nice open field tackle by Zach Howard for Westfield. Nichols' defense was tough early on R.J. Darby carry. Host of Bison led by Charles Wade stuffing the play. Late first quarter, Westfield driving. Jake Cassidy scrambling to Evan Garvey for a first down. Same drive now, it's Darby punching it in through the trees. The Owls have a 6-0 lead. There he is, sitting down in the end zone. More from Westfield State, the locals. Nichols out in the flat. Here comes Howard and Andrew Carpenter flushing it out for the loss. Bison look to answer the Owls score. Michael Pina The throw and catch to Hunter Ferreira. Big first down. Drive would stall. Jake Wood, 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns, but Westfield wins it 25-14.
Well, the Bob Chesney era begins for the Holy Cross football team tomorrow. The Staters playing a very, very tough schedule this year, and it starts tomorrow on the road at Colgate. The Crusaders say they will be ready.
We've been here since August 2nd. I think we're all kind of getting a little tired of, kind of banging into one another and looking for this, this challenge and this opportunity that it presents. Obviously, we have not, we've seen them in the past. I personally have not, but I like what they're doing on offense, like what they're doing on special teams, like what they're doing on defense. Certainly present a bunch of problems, and I think at the same time, our guys are going to be ready, and they understand the challenge, they understand the ramifications of this game in week 1. We got to protect the ball, like always. We have to be able to run the ball in times when we need to. We got to be able to stop the run and the turnover battle, right? Those are the 3 things I think each week. The element of surprise may exist a little bit in the fact that there's not a lot of film on our team in these schemes at this moment, but at the same time that all washes out by the midway through the first quarter into the second quarter somewhere. So it's going to be a matter of us just again being able to control the ball a little bit, us being in a situation where we take advantage of opportunities that present themselves, a tip ball, a fumble, those things we have to come up with. We're going to have to play a very almost near perfect game.
All right, Monday we will have highlights of the Holy Cross Colgate game. Patriot League game. Only the second time that Colgate has opened with a Patriot League opponent. They usually open with the Thunder. Holy Cross has got that in Colgate, and then they have Boston College next week. But Colgate is a team that's loaded. 9 starters returning on offense and on defense for Colgate. This is a powerful team, but again, it's the beginning of the Bob Chesney era. There's a lot of optimism right now up on College Hill. A lot of young kids may see some time. It's tough to win college football games with freshmen and sophomores, but you're building, and you're building for the future. Tough
to win with freshmen and sophomores. It's going to be tough for Anna Maria, but they are improved, and they've got great energy with Dan Mulrooney. But I want to talk quickly about WPI. Their defense, stout all the way through. Ostrowski, the local, leading things in the linebacking core with Ferracco and Jaralskis and company up front with Saraceni. This WPI defense is going to be tough, and they could lead the way for the Engineers, whose offense will catch them.
I was impressed by Becker tonight because they're playing a lot of young kids, freshmen and sophomores, but they hung tough with a very good and experienced MIT team. When we come back, it's a segment that the high school kids and coaches want to see. We'll make our picks. Stay with us, everyone.
The Friday Night Football Frenzy is brought to you by Unibank, the Sullivan Group, Pucci's Fine Jewelry, Milford Federal, the Central Mass Safety Council, and Bertera Nissan of Auburn.
All right, we're going to get into our picks in just a little bit here, but first we're going to hear from some of the teams around Central Massachusetts. St. John's, of course, the defending state champs. Now, so much turnover, so many kids graduated from that team, but guess what? The goal is still the same, to get to Gillette and win a state title.
Yeah, and you know what? They are a new group, as you said, Kev, and they always have the target on their back, maybe more so now because they're state champions. Our Brenna Wilson checking in with the Pioneers.
With a senior-heavy team last season, St. John's finished the year with a state title. The seniors this year say that the expectations are just as high, but now the team is all their own.
We can kind of settle down and say we won last year, and we can roll out and we can play in our red and white jerseys, or we can come out and we can meet the intensity of last year, which, like I said, that's what we're doing. We chose to take that path. We're doing the best we can, and we're just as good as last year's team.
After going undefeated last year with a state title, the Pioneers know there will be a target on their back, but they love being the team to beat.
That's the #1 thing I came here. Everyone hates us. I love it, though. I love it.
It's a great feeling. Our coaches tell us all the time we love playing with the target on our back. It really gets us motivated to be the best we can be on the field.
It's a new year and a new team. The Pioneers only return a few starters, but playing behind and practicing with a talented group of seniors last year has helped the Johnnies understand what it takes to make a run at a state championship.
It showed us how to win. Playing behind, some of the most talented guys I've been around, it really showed us, what kind of work we need to put in order to, get the success that we want.
And now it's this group's chance to shine. The seniors are ready to prove how great this team can be.
Some of these guys have waited 4 years in order to play. We had a great class above us, and working in the weight room, working in the off season, finally being able to go out and show what you've got, it's big for our senior class.
Last year, we obviously had a ton of seniors, ton of leaders, so those were roles that some of us couldn't really fill. Now that we're in that role, I think all the 4 captains have done a great job embracing it.
Every year, St. John's prides themselves on playing the top teams in the state. They've already scrimmaged Brockton, and they open their season against Catholic Memorial, another top team in Massachusetts. With St. John's, I'm Brenna Wilson.
All right, thank you, Brennan. That St. John's Catholic Memorial game should be great. Well, staying in Division III, the Doherty Highlanders return a lot of talent and a lot of experience, and they are ready to make a run at the title this year.
Team chemistry going with a bunch of kids coming back. I think as we all work together hard, focus, get our game mentality going in game time, even in practice, we're going to be ready to go day one through the end of the season. If all guys are in 100% every day, we're going far. I have no doubt.
Last ride right here on this field, nothing like it. I'm going to miss it when I'm going.
We're going for a ring, nothing else, just a ring. Going for state championships, and I believe we got the guys to do it.
This whole summer, I've just been thinking of putting on these pads again, just getting to hear that click-clap, and that's it.
I love it. Click-clack. Doherty has some dudes. They can straight up play. Auburn is a team that seems to always be in the conversation, right? The Rockets, winning tradition, winning Super Bowls in the past. And if they win 8 games, it might be a down year in Auburn. There's an expectation to win, and the Rockets take it seriously.
It's tough. You got to live up to everything. Everybody's like, oh, Auburn football is good, then you got to be great. You got to be better than what everybody's expecting. Everybody hates you. I love playing against people that hate you. It's like they see Auburn, they're like, oh, great, we hate these guys. We hate them, we want to kill them, everything.
The expectation is that you're going to win, and I think they feel that pressure. And to their credit, they play for us with knowing that pressure incoming, and they embrace that. So, it's important. It's important to play football, and I think it's one of those games that people come see in the stands, and they know who you are, and you play on Friday nights, and there's a lot dedicated to high school football. And I don't know if we're that much different than any other team in Central Mass. When you play a football game, you got to expect to win.
It gives me jitters and butterflies to think about coming back to the field and just getting work in. I love practice. I love being here. The Friday nights it's where we shine. Just hope we can get it done throughout the year.
You got to get through the first game. Get through the first game, and then we'll see how it goes from there.
Win the opener, win the league if we're ever in one. And, we'll get into the playoffs and see where it goes, because that's a whole separate season.
I love it. Coach Cormier's right. Win the league if we're ever in one. Hey, leagues are dead. It's all about divisions now, but Auburn is a program. And when you look at Leicester, a couple divisions down, but you look at the Leicester Wolverines, a small school, but they have huge numbers. Year in and year out, Coach Griffiths and his crew get a lot of numbers. They get about 30% of the boys coming out to play football. They are a hard-working bunch.
Pretty young, like we don't have that many seniors, but we're looking pretty good. We got skill, we got power. I think we're going to be looking pretty good for the whole season. Working hard, getting at it 24/7, every single day. Can't stop, just hard-working people.
Never stop grinding, always work hard, don't let anything bother you. Go over any obstacle that's in your way.
We're just a hard-working group of kids that like to hit, like to be very intense and play hard.
Everybody has to work together. It's a team effort. There's no single person that's going to make the team even better. Everybody has to work together.
Friday night, under the lights, nothing better than that. Got the crowd going. It's nice and loud. All the pressure's on you. Nothing better.
All right, in Northbridge, there's also an expectation to win. Again, you win 7 games. It's a disappointment. You make the playoffs. It's just quite not enough. Northbridge has a ton of talent. It's a small school, believe it or not, that keeps rebuilding with talent, and they've got a good group this year looking to improve upon a season to go.
Working hard to get better each and every week. I think our offense is getting better, progressing each and every week. Our defense has been holding down the fort for 2 years now, and I don't think we're going to slow down.
We had a great offseason. We had a lot of kids getting after in the weight room in 7v7. We had good turnouts. I'm excited for this year. I think we got a great underclass group, and they're excited about it too.
Last season 7-4 record was pretty disappointing. We had talent. We had the talent to do some damage, but we just kind of didn't perform to that.
You always want to come in and have a great record here at Northbridge. Like you said, 7-4 for Northbridge is not as great as we can be, and we're looking to improve on that from the last 2 seasons.
The mood every season is to win it, to make it to Gillette every year. And this year, coming 7-4 the past 2 seasons, we're looking to come back and really make a run for a championship this year. We have a great young group coming up this year, and I think come September 6th, we're going to show it.
All right, we've got Quabbin and Northbridge in our high school kickoff to the season Thursday night, live from LaSalle Field. Should be a good one.
All right, when we come back, we'll be making our picks division by division, making friends and enemies. Stay with us.
The Friday Night Football Frenzy is presented by the law offices of Joseph J. Cariglio and Bay State Savings Bank.
All right, now it's time to get into the divisions, make our picks. You're going to start us off with Division 3. Let's get right into it. We don't have a lot of time.
D3 is loaded. Could be St. John's, could be Shrewsbury, could be Doherty. I like Shrewsbury. I like the 30 seniors about roughly that are coming back for John Aloisi's Colonials. I like them getting back to that CMAS final that they won a couple of years ago, and maybe get all the way back with Drew Campanelli, who's probably the best quarterback coming back in the division. More than 2,200 yards total offense last year. John White's a strong runner. Cam Schaefer's good on both sides of the ball. I like Shrewsbury.
I like the Doherty Highlanders. Doherty's got everything. They got size, they got speed, they got strength. It all starts with that line. Chris Yaboa, offensive lineman, defensive tackle. He was MVP of the Hogworks camp. Charlie Payson, phenomenal linebacker. TNG All-Star. He's an Ivy League, Patriot League type of player. Tony Newham is a running back. He's going to split time with Tavian Vassar, who is so electric. Vassar, of course, Noah Callery coming back at quarterback. I like the Highlanders.
Tavian Vassar can flat out play. I want hair like Payson.
And I'll tell you, in St. John's, and we'll get into them too, but man, they are awesome too.
I want some flow like Payson. All right, this is D4. We both like Grafton in this one. Mac has ended the embargo, and he's back out there in the world. Jackson Sonic can flat out fly, and they've got an experienced quarterback, Kev, in Matt Holbrook, who started at Gillette as a sophomore when the Indians went to the state championship game. I just like this group in this division.
Well, what you have here is you have the bar has been set. For Grafton, the bar's been set, and that's Gillette Stadium. Now you have great numbers in camp. They've been going up each year under Mac, and the kids have experience. You're talking about kids that are 2- and 3-year starters, like a Matt Holbrook, Brady Fontana, Jackson Sonic, and Ryan Jack is a dynamic player for them as well. So I like Grafton as well. Now, in Division 5.
D5, I've got Northbridge. I think Northbridge has a lot of skill guys back in Zach Roberts. You saw him, and Jake Stuzinski, Aiden Fair, maybe a little battle for the quarterback spot again. The Stuzinski was the #1 last year. They were sophomores last year to juniors now. Roberts and Sean Roseland, great seniors with Omar Concepcion, the captains on this one. I like Northbridge to win more than 7 games. 7-4 is like 5-5 everywhere else for Northbridge.
All right, Auburn, they are a program, and they are going to smack you in the mouth. As one coach told me, you know what you're going to get from Auburn. They're going to line up head-on-head with you and smack you in the mouth. Jack LaPearl, great linebacker. Joe Payne up on the line. Zach Johnson, one of their running backs. Manny Rosario. These are guys that play physical, downhill football. They got about 5 guys back on each side of the line. They had a good scrimmage with Fitchburg tonight. And you know what? They have continuity on the coaching staff. Their coaches have been together for 15 years. That continuity on the coaching staff means a lot to kids and to a program's success. I like Auburn.
I love Manny Rosario. He loves putting on the blue. All right, in D6, I like Millbury, and you know what? It might be a year away for Millbury. They've got 17 juniors, the bulk of their team. Anthony Greenwich, their quarterback, can flat out sling it. Saw him in practice. And this dude right here, Xavier Robles, man, he bounces off of guys. He's not very big, but man, does he take a hit. Matt LaRue's one of their few seniors on the team, defensive end and tight end. He can straight up bring it. I watched these guys this week. Millbury has a passion. They played some really tough competition. Teams that went to the playoffs last year, they're ready to make that jump this year.
All right, I like the Littleton Tigers. These guys have a lot of experience back. They have their whole line back. This is a road grading type of group up there. They're physical, they're tough, they're strong. But you know what? Don't sleep on St. Peter Marion and Holy Name in this division. And Maynard as well, because all 3 of those teams don't have a lot of numbers, but their starters are good. Their starters are tough. Cam Williams, Owen Leary at St. Peter Marion, who's now going to run the double wing. Holy Name gets Brett Pullman in there, quarterback, a transfer from Felix Exeter, who's like Troy Aikman. He's as big as some of the linemen and has a cannon of an arm. And then Maynard has Tommy Smith coming back at quarterback. His dad, B.J. Smith, the former outstanding QB at Acton Boxborough, and the line comes back for Maynard.
I hope the kids still know who Troy Aikman is, one of my favorites. In D7, I have Leicester. Leicester went to the final last year, got beat by BVT, and you still have to dethrone the champ this year. But Bryce Goslin, if healthy, is one of the top guys in the area. Danny Harrington, one of the leaders in this team. But Jack O'Neal, the big receiver for Leicester. He's got some next-level talent. They got a quarterback who can throw. They showed they could play with the best last year, and they've got great compete over there at Leicester. Griff, Barry, Rigo, Cosenza, it's a great group.
It is a good group, and you talk about coaches, Blackstone Valley Tech, Jimmy Archambault has done such a great job with the Beavers, and what he's done is he's changed the perception of vocational schools. They're not playing for a Colonial League title. They're not playing for a vocational state title. They're playing for a state title at Gillette Stadium. He's changed the perception. He's changed the culture, and he's got great coaches with him. A lot of turnover this year for Jimmy, but he's got Sean Wilkins there, Matt Phelan. You either had to play at Northbridge or Uxbridge to be on his staff. The theme this year for BVT, Rocky II. They made it to the finals. No one gave them a shot last year. They came real close to a championship. Now they got to come back off the mat, and they got to rise again, and this time go for the championship. And you got guys like Aiden Fitzgerald, Scott McKay, you got J.D. Antaya, Connor Christensen. You got some dudes still on that BVT team.
Oh, yeah, and right now Arch is, he's muttering something about me right now to his boys. All right, in D8, I like Dane's bunch with Bartlett. They've got a ton of experience coming back. Not a lot of numbers, but you know what? Small schools don't have a lot of numbers. But you got guys like Logan Peranto and Eric Kunkel and Troy Johnson coming back, and the leading rusher from last year, Romeo Soto. They picked up a few guys. They're battling right now, this team, and they had about an 80 to 90% weight room class coming in throughout the season. Their numbers might be down, but the guys that are really buying in and working out are there. Bartlett's going to be heard from in D8. They went to the finals, don't forget, a year ago in CMAX.
Frank Ellis at Southbridge team. I am picking the Southbridge Pioneers. Woo! Harry J. McMahon Field. I'll tell you what, the Pioneers have a great line. They have a physical line. They have size up front, and they are physical. They hit. They scrimmaged Holy Name. They did very well against Holy Names in terms of just being physical and hitting people. They always have good skill guys, but when you got a line, that's your foundation for any team. So I'm taking Southbridge. Going back to a couple other teams quickly. St. John's, you look at Jay Brunel and you look at Iman Dennis. Iman Dennis running a 4.35 That is the fastest in the state. He can flat out burn. They're going to try to get him the ball in space. Jay Brunel is going to be like Gronkowski. He's a tight end with wide receiver speed. 6'2", 195, ran a 4.5, offered by Harvard, offered by Yale. These guys are both juniors, but they are going to open up the field, and they're going to be big, big playmakers for Colin Schofield, the new QB at St. John's.
And we haven't even talked about Shepherd Hill. They got talented running backs coming back, captains returning as well. Shepherd Hill is going to be heard from perhaps in this division, and right off the bat, they have Shrewsbury. It's going to be a great game. I hope I draw that assignment. Division 4, I want to say something about Westboro and Dave Tingloff and the job that the Rangers are doing. They won 6 games. They went to the playoffs. Winning season, playoffs, first time in 10 years for Westboro last year. It is the process of the program that Coach Tingloff is running right now, and it is on schedule and on track. Their young guys played well last year. Zach Walker, a two-way guy, going to help lead the Rangers this year.
I had 2 different coaches tell me that Coach Tingloff does not get enough credit for what he did at Westboro last year. I look at Division 5. Quabbin going to the double wing this year. Coach Buchanan going back to his roots. He ran the double wing as a player at West Boylston. Spent a lot of time with Mike Pucko and Mike Ross in the offseason. They're ready to go. Colby Smith, Joe Nichols, Jacob Warburton, Noah Herzick. These are guys that got after it in the weight room. They had their best offseason lifting-wise that they've had in Quabbin history. They're ready to go. Marlboro, Steve DiGregorio won the starting quarterback job. Sean Mahoney always does a great job. Marlboro doesn't have a lot of numbers, but they have a lot of talent, and the black and orange hit, and you know what you're going to get when you go into their den. All right, when we come back, a little bit more on the Frenzy. This is what we have coming up for you. Our TV schedule for September. It all kicks off this coming Thursday. Quabbin and Northbridge. A lot of eyes going to be on that one. That one should be a great game. And then Catholic Memorial St. John CM. They have John DiBiaso, the former Everett coach. 26 years at Everett, won so many state titles. Well, he's coming into the city to take on St. John's. We'll get our first look at the Pioneers and a lot of those new faces.
And then Holy Cross for 3 in September. Next week, we are at 10:25, back to our normal time, as we have a huge slate of games to cover in week 1 of the Frenzy.
Yeah, we didn't get to a couple teams. I think Oxford, Coach Clarkson's done such a great job with the Pirates. Nico Murray's going to be a stud. Worcester Tech is another team that's going to be greatly improved this year, and Burncoat as well. Coach Sincata did a lot of work in the weight room, building the weight room, taking a lot of the weights from Worcester State, the old weight room, and literally building his weight room and his team.
Assabet, David Prouty. Look for them. Prouty's going to be improved.
32
Numbers
Hudson
are going
kids
up.
At Assabet. 32 Hudson kids at Assabet. Who do they open with? Hudson.